Hispanic clients refer more than the general market. That's one of 6 facts that shock PI attorneys when we tell them what this market actually is, who it serves, and what they can actually do about it. My name is Hugo E. I'm the founder of Abogados Now. We've worked with over 500 law firms nationwide, influenced over $250 million in case fees, and we're a Google Premier partner, the only Hispanic legal marketing agency in this list, which puts us at the top 3% of agencies globally. Hispanic legal marketing isn't a vertical we serve, it's the world we were built in. So let's get into it. Fact number 1. This should come as no surprise. 65 million Hispanic people live in the United States. There are 65 million Hispanic people living in the United States right now. In cities like LA, Houston, Miami, and Chicago, this isn't a segment of the community. In many neighborhoods, it is the community. And yet most PI firms are completely invisible to them. Not because they're not trying, but because visibility in this market isn't just about running ads. Search the way a Spanish-speaking client in your city would search. Would you find yourself? If your firm doesn't show up or shows up with a machine-translated website and no Spanish reviews, you're invisible to this market before the conversation even starts. That is the first thing to fix. Be visible before you spend a single dollar on Spanish advertising. Fact number 2, car accidents are the number 3 cause of death for Hispanic Americans. Auto accidents are the 3rd leading cause of death after heart disease and cancer. For Latino children, they are the number 1 cause of death and acquired disability in this country. Behind every one of these statistics is a family navigating one of the most overwhelming experiences of their lives. They're scared, they're confused, and they're not sure who to call or whether anyone will actually help. Not just bilingual, trauma-informed. The person answering that call needs to be trained to handle someone who is scared, possibly undocumented, and has never dealt with an attorney before. That is a specific skill set, and most firms simply don't have it. The ones that do, those are the ones who convert a lot of calls into. Hispanic pedestrian deaths are up 100%. Passenger deaths up nearly 90%. These numbers aren't going the right direction. Part of this is infrastructure, where Hispanic communities are located, how transportation systems were designed, what roads look like in certain neighborhoods. These families navigating the systems were not designed with them in mind. They deserve attorneys who understand their world. This is a structural problem, not a behavior problem. So the solution is that your creative needs to reflect the reality, not stock photos, not a sanitized version of life, especially not AI slop photos, real stories, real faces, real situations that a working class Hispanic family in your market actually recognizes. When your advertising reflects someone's actual life, the response is completely different. Authenticity is not a nice to have in this market. It is a difference between being ignored and being trusted. Fact number 4, 1 in 3 drivers is uninsured or underinsured. That number is rising. In heavily Hispanic markets, the rate is often higher. When a Hispanic person is injured and the at-fault driver has no insurance, recovery without legal representation is nearly impossible, and you know this. These are not clients who don't have a case. These are clients who don't have access to someone equipped to fight for them. Train your intake for UAM in Spanish, exclusively in Spanish. If a Spanish-speaking caller describes their accident and your intake doesn't immediately understand the uninsured motorist landscape, doesn't know the right questions to ask, and can't explain the process clearly, that call ends without a case. This is one of the most common situations a Hispanic PI client will face. Most firms are simply not prepared for it. Fact number 5, Hispanic accident victims are less likely to call an attorney. Not because they don't have a case, because the trust isn't there. There's fear of the legal system, fear of what their immigration status means for their case, fear of not being understood or even believed. These are real barriers, and a Spanish ad campaign does not simply move them. The firms that understand this don't see it as a marketing problem. They see it as a responsibility. The solution: build community presence before an accident ever happens at scale. This market is largely referral first. Your name needs to be familiar before someone needs you. Local sponsorships, digital Spanish language media, relationships with community organizations who are following your Instagram, your Facebook, your TikToks. The firms that dominate this market didn't buy their way in simply by buying up all the Google ads. They showed up consistently and over time became an authentic part of the community. Fact number 6, Hispanic households average 3.3 people. The national average, 2.5. In a referral-first community, one case handled with genuine care has a reach that no impression metric can measure. It gets talked about at the dinner table. It gets shared with a cousin, a coworker, friend at church. Trust is currency in the Hispanic market, and the firms that earn it, that really earn it, Build something that no ad budget can replace. One family done right travels very far and wide. The solution? Your follow through after the case matters as much as the case itself. How you communicate during the case, whether the client felt heard, whether they understood what was happening, whether someone called them back when they said they would. These are the things that determine whether one family becomes 10. Most firms are so focused on getting the case one by one that they forget that keeping the relationship is really what scales the firm. 6 facts, 6 specific things that you can do about each one. This isn't just about running better Spanish ads. It's about building a practice that is genuinely equipped to serve a community that needs really good attorneys and too often doesn't find them. This is the work Abogados Now was built to do. We're not an agency that added Spanish as an option. We're partners who were built in this market. Here's what that looks like in practice. We get into your intake. We listen to every call. We have AI automation for sentiment analysis. We sit with your intake team. We talk to marketing every day. We find where the Spanish speaking clients are falling through the cracks and we fix it right there with you. Most agencies have never heard a single one of your intake calls. Let's just be honest. We build community strategy, not a general playbook, a market specific presence plan, the channels, the partners, the community organizations that matter in your city. Build to earn you trust before someone ever needs to call you. We develop creative that reflects your markets, real stories, real faces, creative that a working class Hispanic family in your market actually sees themselves in. Not stock photos, not AI slop, not Google translated copy, authentic creative built for your specific community, made by our Hispanic legal marketing experts. We've had these hard conversations, and if your intake isn't ready for this client, we'll tell you. If your market requires a level of commitment that your firm currently isn't at, we'll tell you that too. That's what a real partner and advisor does. So we're an advisor first, and we're trusted by some of the largest PI brands in the country. We don't consider ourselves a vendor. We are a partner. And frankly, it's not just because we run good ads, but because we understand what this market actually requires, and we're not afraid to say it. So if you're ready to serve this community the way it deserves to be served, the link is in the description. Let's have a meeting with me or anyone on my staff, and we'll talk.